I grew up in Chicago, Illinois. I grew up in a two-parent household, which I'm very fortunate. Growing up in that particular area, it was not very common for youth to grow up in a two-parent household. But my relationship with my father was very rocky.
So I first met Fred when I had an open DHS case, and he came in. At first I thought he was just like every other caseworker, DHS worker, but he quickly changed my mind on that and let me know that he was really serious about making sure that the children had the best potential upbringing they could have. And so that was more than just what everybody else was doing. So
I felt as if I was a man at a very early age due to the fact my father's presence was not heavily felt in my life. It seemed as if my dad worked 24 hours out the day because I was never able really to connect with my dad. I wanted my dad to be at my games. I wanted my dad to come to the school and visit. I wanted my dad to be around or a presence in my life.
My children and my relationship has been affected because I didn't have a whole lot of other people to talk to. I mean, I had great experience with my dad. He was a great dad. But aside from that, you know, I didn't even feel comfortable talking to my own brothers about it. So this just helped me to be able to express myself and open up and have people I could talk to that I felt comfortable and safe that they weren't going to go and tell anybody else. It's helped to relieve some stress for myself and also, you know, some other people that are going through similar things.
So what I've come to learn about why there's a lack of organizations supporting fathers is the lack of resources. And what I mean by resources, the lack of funding. I've been in the Iowa City community since 2006, and I came as a single father, and I couldn't find any places who were giving support to fathers. From talking to different organizations, it seems as if a father is not always willingly participating in the support of their children.
I mean, I've seen the statistics as to what happens when fathers aren't involved. So I've already made some tremendous strides in just discovering who I am or really understanding who I want to define myself as. Not just as a father, but also as a man. You know, I could define who I wanted to be and what I wanted to stand for.
My faith has driven me to be able to open my doors, even at my own home, to anybody, to be able to make sure families are getting the necessary supports, getting the necessary resources to be successful.
You know, nobody's going through the same thing as a parent, even as an individual in this world, but having people going through similar things that you can just kind of let stuff off your chest with them and they can nod knowingly what's going on, then it really helps a lot.
I was not able to get any child care assistance. I wasn't able to get any food assistance. I wasn't able to get anything for the simple fact the question was, where's the mom? Produce a birth certificate, produce a social security card. And even after I produced those things, it was, oh, we need you to produce something from the courts. We need you to give us a letter from mom. So I immediately almost threw the towel in, even on not being a dad, but going to college because it was so difficult. I had to take my son to every class with me, but I was able to connect with some of the right individuals as far as students and teachers. My mentor, Professor Sarah Sanders, who also been a great inspiration to not only the birth of the Dream Center, but to my success in being able to graduate college within 4 years while being a single father. Fathers began to cling to me due to my experience and knowing what it meant to be a father, knowing the different resources that are available to fathers, and just becoming such a huge advocate for fathers. Before you knew it, the Dream Center existed. We went from a 1,000 square foot home to a building with over 12,000 square foot. Though the space is shared space, the Dream Center have access to the entire building. We have 3 different academies in which our programming is under. One is the Fatherhood Academy. Our focus is strictly in that academy, focusing on connecting fathers to the necessary resources to give them the skills necessary to become better fathers.
Every Monday there's a father's group, and it's a great experience for my kids. They get to meet other dads and other young men And I think that helps round out, who they are as individuals. They don't just deal with people their own age that way. So already it's positively impacted a tremendous amount of fathers' lives, and I would say also a tremendous amount of children's lives.
Over the past 2 years, we have worked with about 75 plus families, and that number continues to grow through the addition of programming. We have come to find that many of the individuals or families we work with are all transit. None of them are really from here. So helping families to find the necessary resources to be successful here has been a very challenging time due to the lack of resources available. Another issue that we have helped families with is when you start to talk about the need for organizations to work with fathers. We have helped at least 9 dads in our Fatherhood Academy to gain, whether that's joint custody or sole custody. A growing issue that we are really trying to attack is the father factor, or absentee fathers being reconnected to their families. You will come to find that there's a father factor in poverty, a father factor in education, a father factor in emotional and behavioral problems in youth. And if we really want to talk about strengthening families, we have to include fathers as well. Through research, I see that statistically that the role of a father is very important. And I even believe as we continue to evolve in our community, that there will be more programs for fathers, because I think people are starting to see that fathers truly do matter. It has been easier for me to be a father of 5, to be able to share those experiences with the dads in my programs, the young men in my programs, and even for some of the mothers in the program. It has been easier having children to be able to relate with some of the families that we serve.
I think I just had like a bad attitude before I met Fred, and then once I started hanging out with him, I saw that it was like it wasn't that hard to be a good kid, I guess.
How many is that?
4.
Oh, yep, that's how many that is. Well, one thing that it's really helped with is that I've been able to sometimes get things off my chest in a safe place where I know people aren't just going to talk about it.
Every individual who walks into the doors will know that they're welcome, that we care about them as an individual, but most importantly, we care to see that their families feel comfortable.
Like this year, I got a Most Improved Student Award. They say, oh, you changed a lot since last year. And that was like when me and Fred really got close. No one's ever like asked me like, how'd you do it or anything. I think my friends have looked up to me and look at me as a role model. And they see like, Rob's doing good things, why can't I?
We're gonna be here for fathers, for young men, in a place where they can go and they can talk to somebody about what's going on. Maybe their position isn't right, or maybe it is, but they can understand what's going on with the things around them and the outside forces better than were able to happen before. I
would say that I would think in the next year we will probably grow another 50 to 75 families with the programs we're getting ready to offer in the fall.
If Fred keep doing what he's doing, he could have different things in different cities if you get enough help and people willing to change.
I'm Darren Kriener, and these are my sons Zakai, who's 6 years old, and Josiah, who's 4 years old. I think sometimes they would like to see me give in a little bit, but I think in the end they're able to trust me a lot more because they know that I'm not going to back down, that I believe in what I'm doing.
Having a child at such an early age, for all the young parents out there, I would tell you to get to a place where people believe in you, where you can buckle down and get your education, whether that's just a high school diploma, associate's, a bachelor. But what I come to find is that I'm so grateful that my father still supported me through all our love-hate relationship. I've learned that even in my 20s, that I'm grateful to have my father, because I even feel as a young adult, my dad played a greater role in my life now. And now as a father of 5 myself, I find myself just like my dad, working so much and wanting to spend time with my kids. But I also want to make sure that my kids can have everything that their hearts desire. My oldest is 8 years old. I have 2 8-year-olds now. And they both tell me how proud they are, and they always talk about they want to go off to college just like I went off to college. My kids are the greatest thing that ever happened to me. that give me the greatest hope to continue to do the work I'm doing.